This is some scene.
This is some scene.
This is some scene.
Now, one of my favorite films that you've done, and I believe it's become an honest cult film, would have to be The Burbs.
Well, cult is certainly the word, because when The Burbs came out, it got the worst reviews since Mein Kampf. And in fact, I remember the New York Times review, because it was not, you don't often get a review as succinct as this. I think it was Bosley Crowther, and he said that this movie is as empty as a film can be without actually creating a vacuum.
Oh my God!
And it was roundly derided. It made money, but it was roundly derided. And the funny thing about it is that over the years, it has become such a fan favorite. That
I know.
It's got like websites devoted to it. It's got people quote the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
They watch it. They have Burbs parties. They shout the dialogue out. I mean, it's really odd.
Yeah, I can tell you we love it. I mean, I quote Bruce Dern constantly.
Well, it was a lot of fun to make, but it was unfortunately just considered to be a real piece of tripe when it came out.
Wow, I never understood that. I enjoyed it. I heard that you filmed a scene with Kevin McCarthy for The Burbs. It was kind of the picture.
He
played
did.
Hank's boss or something.
We shot the movie in sequence, and there was a writer's strike going on.
Uh-huh.
And because of that, I said, look, let's do a lot of improv, but if we shoot it in sequence, we can actually develop the characters as we go, as opposed to shooting it out of sequence where your improv suddenly sometimes don't make sense. And so we the whole group of the cast really were creating the characters. And Tom Hanks kept saying, well, what is the secret that this guy is trying to save from, trying to keep from his wife? Why is he taking this vacation? Well, how about it because he's been fired and he doesn't want to tell his wife? And so during the dream sequence in the movie, there was a scene where his boss, Kevin McCarthy, shows up and lets the audience know that he's been fired. And it was improvised and that morning we said, gee, we need somebody to play the boss, so let's call Kevin. So I called Kevin, and he was in town, and he came over, and he brought 3 ties with him. So which tie you want? You want this tie or the other tie? And he came in, he did his little scene, and it eventually got cut out of the picture. But it was that kind of movie. I mean, it was really a kind of a fly-by-night kind of, just off-the-cuff movie.
I wish it made the DVD. That sounds like.
Well, I wish they still had the footage. I mean, we shot 3 endings for that picture, and
and only one showed up.
We managed to find one of them, but then the other ones just ended up, just disappearing.
So is the one in the picture the one you prefer?
Well, the problem was that the script used to end. For people who haven't seen the movie, it's about a neighborhood they're all suspicious of this one group of creepy neighbors who've moved in. And in the original script, the idea was that the Tom Hanks character gets into the ambulance at the end with the crazy Henry Gibson doctor, and it turns out that indeed they really are crazy and bad, and they drive away, and Tom Hanks is killed. And as soon as they hired Tom Hanks, they said, well, you can't kill Tom Hanks. We've got to have an ending. We've got to explain all the things that these evil Klopek people are doing in their basement. And the whole movie had been built around suspicion, like they're digging and there's strange lights coming out. And we didn't know what they were, right? And we didn't want to tell anybody because we figured, well, the more people don't know and have to guess, then the more horrible they'll think it is. But then we had to finally, at the end, they said, well, now you have to explain what they were been doing. And none of the explanations that we ever came up with really made sense based on all the stuff that they'd been doing. So we shot a couple of different versions of it, and one of them was, in one of them, they opened up the trunk of the car, and there was cheerleaders inside. Then there was another version where we opened up the trunk of the car, and the 2 garbage men, Dick Miller and Bob Picardo, were inside. And when we shot all these things, and then we ended up cutting them all out, and doing a sort of a hybrid version. And it isn't really very satisfying, but the movie is so silly it doesn't make any difference.
I love it. It never fails to make me laugh.
No,
it's a good time. It's a good time.